I do think this Italian competitor is somebody who will play right to the end. There are times she was match point down. Vanrique, mixed English Open 2025 winner with Richard Liveranese. So we've got a match here that is going to be very juicy.
Referee Kelly Macuba from Portugal, based in the USA, calls time in. And your first final of the European Pickleball Championships from Rome 2025 is underway. It's Rumi at the top of your screen, Vanrique at the bottom for game one. Early stages of this one. Possibly nervous. Both players know what's on the line, but Roos van Reek demonstrating what she's made of right from the very off. And the girl from Netherlands, plying her trade in Australia, is opening up at the very start of this final. And Julia Stevens, 3 exchanges in a row, 3 winners in a row from Roos van Reek.
I don't think there's enough on the side of the paddle of the Italian here. There needs to be more depth on that return. That was better. Yeah, so she was able to get forward there, and then she could get on top of the ball, forcing the winner. So let's see if she's able to get any points on the board here.
Yeah, you can see the size and scope of the Italian. Very tall, with a huge wingspan. She'll look to dominate by getting forward to the kitchen as often as she can. Roos van Reek will look to play winner after winner. A little bit of fortune for Van Reek. Just tickles the top of the net, kisses the net, no time. Better than the present in the final to take advantage of a little bit of luck. And Francesca Rumi makes an unforced volley error. Nervous beginnings for Team Italy. Does that ball catch the line? No, says the Italian. So 5 points in a row for Van Reek. How will Rumi respond? Big serve. Backhand response on the third. Too big though, Julia. And at the moment, it's Van Reek who's settled into proceedings the better.
See if she can get a big return here. Too
Too
much
big.
on that. Bit too big, yeah, absolutely. But that's what she wants. She wants that deep return. Otherwise, Van Reek is going to be all over it.
A little bit of fortune this time for Francesca Rumi from the home nation. And what a show Italy have put on so far. What a way to start day one. And a medal for the Italians. But if Van Reek keeps opening up like that, it's only going to be one colour. Because at the moment, this final is being dominated by the girl from the Netherlands, Roos van Reek. Tries to go into in. The space was there, just sends it slightly too long. Adrenaline running, emotions flying high. Huge crowd on the near side, all situated in the shade. Wow, wow, the Italian just playing one more shot, and Van Reek scrambles, breathes heavily. The point for Rumi.
What an outstanding feathery touch there from Rumi, showing that it's not all about power, but about placement. That was absolutely outstanding, as you can see there. Into the kitchen, that was how short that ball was.
Her ability to volley at the kitchen line, second to none. Her positioning, second to none. Can she do more of that? In she comes once more. Vanrique forced to try and find the lines, forced to find a narrow gap, and calls a timeout after making an electric start. It's Francesca Rumi who forces Vanrique into a first game timeout. Possibly a rhythm breaker, possibly an opportunity for her to reset psychologically, possibly just a little bit of a physical break, Julia.
Yeah, I think she's trying to just disrupt a bit of the momentum on the side of the Italians, because there's been a few points in the line and I think she's just needing a bit more motivation at the moment. There's been shots where she's had long points, she's lost them. And to everyone at home, when you're playing, that seems like a really long time, even though that's only a few points to you. That takes out a lot on the athlete, and it could be a little bit of both. I think about momentum change and just taking a breath and just wanting to reset here.
So, Francesca Rumi with ball in hand. Was the timeout a good one for Vanrique? Ball catches the baseline. In fact, it's just called out by Vanrique. And the Italian appeals. We've got passive line judges here for the final, Julia. And that's referee Neil making a decision. Following the appeal of a player, the referee can refer to a passive line judge only for an appeal to make a decision. Referee Neil calls that ball in, reports back to the referee, therefore the call is overturned. Vanrique just seeking some clarification on that, but it's the first time passive line judges have been used in a final. They're not there to actively call, only respond when a player challenges the referee, and it was seen to good effect there. Well done to the refereeing team here at the European Pickleball Championships.
So it's all level here. Italy have managed to bring it back, 6-6.
And Francesca Rumi, after a slowish start, has arrested back the momentum, arrested back the lead. The local fans cheer. That ball's called long. Race to 11, and Francesca Rumi has turned this final around. Roos van Reek walks away with a big smile on her face. She went 6-2 up in this first game. And a rare exchange at the net, Julia, won by Vanrique.
Yeah, I think that's what she needs to do more, get forward to that kitchen line. Whenever the Italian's getting forward, it's very difficult with her wingspan to try and pass her.
But that is a passing shot by Vanrique. The first one made Rumi stretch. The second one was an all-out winner. It's a lovely drop. It's pinpoint, it's accurate, it's precise. It's Roos van Reek returning to a little bit of form. Big return by the Italian. She needs a timeout. She needs a break. She's got to stop the momentum that Vanrique is building. What a volley. What a volley. Francesca Rumi, that ball's below the height of the net. She's reaching, she's stretching. Julia just manages to catch the sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Vanrique, she's going to try and get forward off this return if she can.
Big serve keeps Vanrique back. That volley just goes wide. It was a volley that Rumi has been making over and over again. The slice volley on the backhand wing cross court. This time sends it long. That ball does catch the line. Rescued by Vanrique. Big forehand coming. That ball goes long. The Italian tosses her paddle in the air. It's a shot she would make 9 times out of 10. But big finals are not easy. Finals to play in. Big moments. It's game point, Roos van Reek. Cross-court drive. Look at the volleying ability. Francesca Rumi, Roos van Reek hobbles away from that exchange. 1 game point save, Julia.
Yeah, I was telling you that the Italian doesn't stop. Yeah, Rumi's definitely somebody who's going to keep going. She's going to go right to the final point. Even if this game went to 16-14, she'd still try and do it.
Huge crowd watching on. Got to keep off the backhand volley of Francesca Rumi is the key message, because once established on that backhand side, Rumi is deadly. It's a win by 2, first game. We're tied at 10-10. Vanrique just confirming with match referee Kelly Makuba.
Those back in England that don't know, James Chowdhury is playing in the men's semi-final 2 courts along against Italy.
That catches the line. Look at the celebrations. Look at the response from Roos van Reek. Brings up second game point. Crowd silences. The Italian stays strong. I thought Van Reek was just going to pop that ball down the line. Decided to go cross court.
I do think if Van Reek still had a timeout, she would be taking one here, because she started to develop a little bit of a hobble. But I hope this doesn't affect her match.
It's a big service error. It's a huge service error. It's a big moment. It's a bad moment for Team Italy. It's 3rd match point, and Roos van Reek gets over the line in a highly competitive first game. It's Roos van Reek who looks at the crowd, nods her head as if to say, job done, bring on the next game. It was an electric start, Julia, from Van Reek.
Yeah, I think what Rumi's going to have to look to do in this game is get deep returns. And once she's got those deep returns, she needs to establish herself at those kitchen lines. It is very difficult at this level of pickleball, for those that don't know at home, to establish yourself at that line. If you go forward at the wrong time, the likelihood of you being passed is very, very high. So she really needs to try and establish herself there. With Van Reek, she just needs to try and keep her cool. She also needs to try and mentally just establish herself and really think about each point that she's doing, keep the strategy that she's got going, and let's see if that can continue.
Julia, whilst we're at the timeout, I must give a big shout out to Neil Lawson-Smith. Referee Neil, as a passive line judge or a second referee there, doing a great job with an important call in the final. He's joined by Eloy Sanchez from Spain, Gustavo Alonso, also from Spain as active judges. Maria Munich as well. Match being refereed by Kelly McCuba, and worrying scenes on court 4 as we wait for the players to return in this final, as Bako Ballant is down injured. Arnie's back on court 4, very much favourite to defeat his Polish opponent. Meanwhile, we're all set for what's set to be a captivating, enthralling second game. The European Pickleball Championships Women's Open Singles Final. Rome, Italy 2025, the second edition, on behalf of the European Pickleball Federation in conjunction with the Italian Tennis and Paddle Federation. We're live from Stadio dei Marmi, the stadium of marble statuettes depicting sports from all backgrounds. And Roos van Reek gets us underway. What a rescue. But once again, the dominant player when she's at the non-volley zone, Julia, is Francesca Rumi.
Yeah, but I think she just had a foot fault call on that line from the passive line judge there. So I think that was Van Reek's point.
You're quite correct. And Rumi's frustrated with the call. First point of this game goes to Van Reek, and so does the second. Roos van Reek, G'd up by the crowd, G'd up by winning that first game. It's a must-win game for Rumi. Has to maintain a balance once more at the non-volley zone and maintain her control and poise. She does. Scoring opportunity now for Italy. 0-2. Rumi's first points of this second game. And what a bit of fortune for Team Italy. The net cord coming to fruition just when Rumi needed it most. Roos van Reek with a big driving forehand, and it's almost like, Julia, that Francesca Rumi just didn't pick the direction of travel at all.
No, that was actually a pinpoint passing shot on that side, but something I've noticed from Rumi over the day, she's had a weakness on the wide part of her forehand. I know, but as the days got on, she's got better and better at doing it, but at the kitchen line, I think, from what I can gather, she was an ex-professional tennis player, so if she was a doubles player, anything at the kitchen line would be quite simple for her. So that's what I'm saying, she needs to get forward and use those skills into fruition.
What a great volley. Francesca Rumi picking that ball up right from her toes, caressing it into the opposing side of the court with a little bit of backspin. Van Reek not able to pick that up. But once again, the service error. And those are the mistakes she can't afford. Oh, Roos van Reek has slipped into the non-volley zone and potentially injured herself as well. And Julia, I fear the worst here. Roos van Reek hobbles away, her coach in a corner. And this is certainly going to be a medical timeout. Kelly Makuba asks for assistance, and that looked horrible.
Yes, I think this does not look good at all. The way that she came out of that kitchen. She pulled right up, her leg stiffened up. As you can see here, she had to put a paddle down to stop her from falling.
Yeah, worrying scenes here for Roos van Reek. Tournament director makes his way over. Gail Scavangeli, the head referee, also in attendance. And this is really worrying in our first final of the evening.
Something that's really lovely to see is the sportsmanship we've got here from Rumi. She's come over to check that she's okay. We're very united here in Europe when it comes to pickleball. We're a very small pickleball family that's just building year on year, but we do support each other, and everyone knows each other from all the different countries. So for everybody who's watching outside of Europe, they don't necessarily understand how close we are as nations when it comes to pickleball, but with the fact that she's still on the floor, this is not looking good. And when Bako went down on the other court from Hungary, by the looks of it, he did not get back up either. So he was probably the favourite of the men's Open. So
we're just waiting for news on that, Julia. We're not sure the outcome. Obviously, players can take a medical timeout. We're hearing news, meanwhile, that James Chowdhury has defeated his opponent 15-0 in the men's semi-finals. It was England versus Italy, I believe, and Chowdhury has gone through to the final, but all of our thoughts remain with Roos van Reek as it currently stands. She's now back on her feet and walking away, and she's back down, Julia, and these really are worrying scenes. The final finally poised here. Van Reek taking the first game 12-10. We're tied in the second game as it currently stands, but Van Reek very much in the ascendancy, albeit having difficulties with Francesca Rumi coming forward and dominating from the non-volley zone. Tough times for Rumi as well. Nice to see, as you suggest, that she went over to check on Roos van Reek, but the doctor is over there now. We're awaiting news of her ability to continue to participate, and I'm not entirely sure on the tournament rules here, Julia. I know it differs, but Van Reek will be allowed quite a period of time here for the injury to be assessed and for her to determine whether she's able to carry on.
So I was talking to a referee earlier, and because there was an injury that had happened on court, and you're given 15 minutes, and you can continue to play after those 15 minutes. If you can't, you would then either have to retire or withdraw. And by the looks of things, if she's not able to stand, it's not looking good. As you can see, they're working on the calf, so you're probably looking at the soleus gastrocnemius kind of area on the muscles there. And if she's already got previous injury in that area, as you can see that she's got a support, it makes the area more prone for injury, because when it heals, it'll heal with scar tissue compared to fresh muscle, which would normally just operate quite efficiently well. As soon as you injure it, it's more prone to another one.
Yeah, I'm just hearing news that it is 15 minutes for this tournament too, with the referee able to provide an extension if she feels that the treatment Van Reek is receiving will benefit her and allow her to carry on. But after 15 minutes, that decision needs to be made. And once again, our thoughts are just with Roos van Reek in what was an engaging, enthralling, competitive final. She's going to try and return to her feet maybe in an attempt to carry on. Concerns still. There is a smile on her face which suggests that that pain threshold may have reduced slightly. It is the calf muscle, as you correctly point out, Julia, that is being massaged. Meanwhile, Francesca Rumi remains in her corner. She'll need to stay focused because there's a difficulty here in losing your rhythm, in losing your concentration. Either way, we're still not certain as to whether this game will continue. And we're hearing that Valiant Bako actually lost 15-8 to Bartosz, but it was the last point of the game where he went down. So Bartosz Kabałnik of Poland through to the final to play James Chowdhury in the men's open division. Commiserations to Bako Valiant, and we hope for a swift recovery. It looked like it was during the match that injury occurred, but we can now confirm it was the last point of the match, and Bartosz Kabałnik won that point. Meanwhile, Vanrique is back on her feet. Is she back on her feet and fit to continue? That remains to be seen as the sun sets completely at Foro Italico, the Olympic venue, the famous sports park here in Rome, steeped in sporting history and tradition, hosting its first ever European Pickleball Championships in the second edition. Here we see that moment that Vanrique just slides once more, and the calf muscle extended as she slid into the non-volley zone.
I expect to see Vanrique to continue to play, see how she goes, and then if she has to withdraw on the next medical timeout, she'll have to withdraw, because I think you're only allowed one medical timeout, and then you have to make the decision, do you withdraw or continue?
Yeah, it's only one medical timeout. I'm also informed in the match. So Roos van Reek has picked up her paddle and looks set to continue in this final, and appears to be walking a little bit better after a massage. The crowd give her huge applause. Referee calls 15 seconds, and Julia Stevens, the women's open final, looks set to resume.
Yeah, so Vanrique will want to be trying to close out the match in this game, because I think if it went to a third, it would probably go to the side of the Italian, just because of the risk of possibly injuring that leg again. So she'll try and make the points very short, try not to run as much, so she'll want to try and dictate, take the forehands early. That's her weapon. She'll want to try and put those into the corner of the court, make the Italian really stretch if she gets into that kitchen line.
And there's an interesting restart of play here, Julia, because the presumption was there was a fault by Vanrique. It looks like we're either replaying that point or there was no fault at all. Either way, Vanrique seems to be moving with a little bit more fluidity than what we were expecting there. And what a pickup by Roos van Reek, fresh off the back of a medical timeout. Vanrique goes cross court, finds the angle, pace off.
Yeah, just trying to do a little bit too much on that one. That's exactly what I was talking about. She's going to try and hit those corners because she wants these points to go.
Puts pressure on the forehand of Rumi, and you've got to analyse the impact of a 10-minute break for Francesca Rumi too, because it's Roos van Reek who's come out all guns firing. She gets the first point of the final since the restart, takes the lead. And it's another error from Rumi, and the stoppage in play has just stopped the momentum of the Italian, the fluidity, the consistency's gone. Got to reassert. Is this the opportunity? Vanrique tries to go line once more, just fires wide. And I make that 3 unforced errors, Julia, since the return.
Yeah, I think she had the momentum as well. So just before she'd leveled it up, she was fighting.
Francesca Rumi needs a timeout herself. She needs to reset. She has been significantly impacted by the medical timeout, more than Vanrique, it seems. It's changed the course of this final, and unfamiliar error after unfamiliar error for the Italian gives Vanrique a cushion, a comfortable lead. An ascendancy that could lead to the first gold medal of the Rome 2025 European Pickleball Championships. Roos van Reek is fighting like a warrior. The pocket rocket from Netherlands is 2 points away from the first gold medal. Opportunity knocks. It's now or never for Rumi, Julia.
I would say she needs to be looking for a string of momentum right now. If she does not get this in the next couple of points, Vanrique has really got a bit of momentum on her side.
But Roos van Reek can do no wrong. She wanted this game over in a flash, and in a flash, she looks set to take the gold medal. And that brings up championship point for an injured, hurt but resilient Roos van Reek. It's championship point Netherlands, championship point Roos van Reek. Not just yet. Can the Italian master a comeback? Wow, Julia Stevens, talk us through that one.
Yeah, so what happened there was a really good initiation of attack there from Rumi, bring it out to that left-hand side, but Vanrique finding an impossible angle on that passing shot, bringing up her second championship point.
Here we go, championship point, and Roos van Reek and Team Netherlands record the first gold medal from Foro Italico in the European Pickleball Championships. It's Team Netherlands with gold and 3 points. 2025 Women's Open Champion is Netherlands. It's Roos van Reek. It's 3 points, and they lead the way in their quest to lift the presidential trophy. I'm going to make my way down to court 1 and catch up with Vanrique, but Julia, it's glory, it's smiles for Roos van Reek.
Yeah, Vanrique there really putting on a really good performance there for the Netherlands. Really shaking up the competition to start off with. I'm joined here in the booth by Chris Beaumont, watching from the sideline.
Hi, Julia. So, convincing performance there from Roos van Reek of the Netherlands, taking the first gold medal that's available today, fighting back from injury. There was a point there, Julia, where we didn't think if Van Reek was even going to be able to complete that game.
Honestly, I didn't think that she would have had to have retired there, because she couldn't even stand up at one point. And she's just shown that no matter what's going on, you can still win. And she beat the person earlier who pushed Molly Naggs, a previous English Open winner, to 2018 in an earlier round in the quarterfinals. And Van Reek has literally done exactly the same thing back.
A very confident, competent, dominant performance from Van Reek. We knew she came into this tournament as one of the hot favourites based on her performances down in Australia and various other Asian tournaments over the last 12 months or so. First opportunity to represent the Netherlands here in Foro Italico, and she has taken the gold medal. Impressive stuff. We are just waiting for the one and only Nick Hobbs, who has made impressive time getting down to courtside. He used to move that quickly up and down the sideline when running the line at various levels of English football in his previous life. Doesn't even look like he's sweating at this point. And he's about to have an interview live with our gold medalist, Roos van Reek, who is currently on screen talking to Nick. Save some of that chat, Nick, for when you're plugged in. And that will be coming to you live from courtside any second now. And we have just been treated to the floodlights. We're getting that to that point of time. Over to Nick. And do bear with us just for a few moments longer. Couple of slight technical issues here. First time we've been down on courtside to do the interview. It's going to be worth waiting for, folks. Do stick with us.
Welcome back to the European Pickleball Championships. I'm joined by our first gold medalist of 2025, our Team Netherlands representative, Roos van Reek. And Roos, congratulations, you must be absolutely overjoyed.
Thank you so much. No, I'm so proud to play for my country. Like, they've been supporting me all the time, and yeah, I'm just overjoyed. I'm just so happy.
Roos, you've taken your form to another level this year, playing globally around the world. How much does this medal mean to you right now in comparison with what you've already achieved this year?
Honestly, this means a lot. Like, playing here for my country, with my parents watching me, my grandma, and I know they can watch me as much. So having them here and getting this title, I mean, I'm very, very happy.
And not without a scare, Roos. Talk us through the moments in the second game there where it looks like you've pulled your calf muscle. There were question marks about whether you'll be able to continue, but continue you did, and you came out like the pocket rocket we know you are. But just talk us through what was going through your mind during the medical timeout.
Well, I was pretty scared. I mean, like with pickleball, it happens, and it's super hot out here. I just slipped, and I'm just like, knock on wood, it's okay, and I'm still able to play. But yeah, I'm just it was a scary moment. Yeah, I slipped.
Well, we're glad you were able to continue, Rose, because you put on an absolute show. Just before we finish, a quick word on your opponent, Francesca Rumi, who was valiant in defeat, representing the home nation. She put up a good fight.
She played insane. Like, she played out of the whole day. I know she's been fighting. It was close matches with her, so getting out of the round robin and then playing all the way to the finals, like, congrats on her. And yeah, I mean, we put up a great show, so that was a good final.
You put up an unbelievable show. And Roos van Reek, you are the Women's Open Singles gold medalist for the very first time. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.